Let's dive into DeFi and also where stablecoins could be going. We could see some big fireworks, so stick around. My name is Paul Barrow. Welcome back into Tech Path. I want to thank our sponsor today, and that is Uphold. This is a place where you guys can get up to 17.6% rewards by staking your crypto. This is one of the best staking rewards programs out there because this is one of the platforms that goes out and tries to find best price for you. So if you're brand new to crypto, uphold.com. Let's go over to a couple of points I want to hit on right here. Blockchain Association. The House will vote, this happened yesterday, but the House will vote on Rep. Mike Carey's CRA. This is rolling back the DeFi killing broker rule. And remember, this was when Biden exited the office and kind of put a last stamp on crypto and caused KYC, basically for DeFi. All right, so let me go to a clip real quick. This is kind of giving you some insight of what happened yesterday. Take a look.
The rule subjects decentralized finance platforms or DeFi exchanges to the same reporting requirement as a centralized bank or traditional securities broker. DeFi platforms do not and cannot even collect the information from users needed to implement this rule.
All right, so other things that went on, of course, is the Democrats, because they were essentially fighting back against repealing this bill. Take a look what they said.
I know we made some changes around tax reporting for the sale of cryptocurrency, but that's how our income tax works. Taxpayers who would rather avoid paying taxes on the gains of their cryptocurrency sale can now move to a decentralized exchange, knowing that the transaction will not be subject to reporting. They are known for being a method of laundering the sales of fentanyl and human trafficking. And for that reason, I do not support this joint resolution and reserve the balance of my time.
Makes tax evasion and money laundering so much easier for the wealthy who've been using these decentralized exchanges. Today's bill opens the door to rewarding drug traffickers in fentanyl and cocaine and whatever, as well as terrorists.
All right, so you can see, I feel for the Democrats because I feel like they need a position in this next generation of the financial monetary system that's really happening right now, especially in DC, which is a very pro-crypto, I think, situation right now. And this is going to be one that maybe they'll look back on and just say, man, where did we go wrong here for sure? This is another clip here on why the bill cannot practically work, which makes more sense of understanding really what was going on. Take a look.
DeFi protocols provide infrastructure. Expecting them to track and report user activity is both impractical and misaligned with their core function of what they do. This is the equivalent of requiring the builders of our interstate highways to report the identity of every driver who uses them. It's unworkable, it's unfair, and it completely misses the mark.
As former IRS Commissioner Rettig said himself, quote, overwhelm the agency.
Over 8 billion new information returns on Form 1099-DA. To put this in perspective, this is more than double the amount of information returns the IRS currently receives on all forms of 1099 combined. It is essential that we pass this legislation today to avoid this nightmare from the IRS and for the American taxpayers.
Mr. Speaker, I have no further requests. It's pretty clear to me that I appreciate the heartfelt arguments from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, but embracing tax cheating by completely throwing these rules out is simply not the answer. And for that reason, I do not support this joint resolution and yield back the balance of my time.
Okay, so when you look at the vote on the roll call right there, the yeas had it at 292, nays at 132. So it was a clear win. And I think this is good for bipartisan sides of things. And if you look at just where it came, just to show, Democratic 76 on the Democratic side voted yay. So that's a pretty good bipartisan move for the 292 total that came in on this. So maybe there is some progress being made there in DC. If you take a look at DEX volume in general, this is where you're going to see, even though we've seen a pretty heavy explosion over the last little bit, I think we're going to see even more so going forward, because this is going to, I think, now open up a lot of the opportunity for decentralized finance going forward. Let's move on to this right here. Was a stablecoin bill is set to advance into the Senate. This is, of course, after Trump pushing this out. This will move pretty quickly, and I think the good thing is this happening on a vote on Thursday. That's tomorrow, guys. So we could see a stablecoin bill actually get through a vote this week. And if it does happen, expect some explosions out there, both on many of the stablecoin platforms that we've kind of identified here. But I think there's a lot of opportunity for this. All right, so when you look at the opponents of this Stable Act, of course, you have Senator Warren coming back in with the anti-crypto army, and she is not giving up. So definitely going head to head with it. And when you look at the NGOs that are in this list of people that filed this letter over to the lawmakers, basically it's just a line list of NGO after NGO after NGO. All of these are entities that are essentially sponsored by the U.S. government through some of the Democratic components that, of course, have positioned against crypto. Okay, so just to look at stablecoin growth right here, you can kind of see market cap currently at 223 billion, but definitely up and to the right. So all in a very good fashion. I think with this actually becoming a regulatory framework, it's going to be good for the industry in general. So with all this stablecoin news, what happens is it starts to affect a lot of what's happening on the merchant side of things, Stripe. And this would have been an existential threat on their business in general. So they made a quick acquisition. They did a $1.1 billion deal on the Bridge acquisition. We reported on that earlier. This, of course, closed and is now underway. And I think this is another position for Stripe to be able to get back into crypto. Hopefully it's going to be a big one. Here's a clip that kind of explains a little bit more. Take a look.
Then when we announced the acquisition, we as in Bridge, we literally had 20x, 10x the number of inbound leads, just in that week than we had in like previous months combined. I mean, it was like a skyrocketing of our business. And so it was pretty clear that there were, just even at that moment in time, there are hundreds, thousands of businesses who are thinking about investing in this space. You just didn't have the bank partners, you didn't have the card issuance partners, you didn't have the APIs, you didn't have lender, whatever it was that you needed to serve parts of Africa, parts of LATAM, parts of Asia. Now you can do with stablecoins.
And I think part of that is the crypto layer, the stablecoin layer has gotten better. Part is the TradFi layer has gotten better.
So you can kind of see that is one of the major, I think, missteps that Stripe made, but a good move in the acquisition, obviously, because they saw the writing on the wall for stablecoins, and now we're starting to see that play out. Here's Monica Long from Ripple talking about the kind of impact this is going to have. Take a look.
What's your readout now as to what the opportunity looks like in the domestic United States for some of these technologies?
I really think that this next year will be a huge breakthrough for stablecoin based payments. For example, Stripe acquiring Bridge is probably the big moment, but BlackRock's Biddle fund has obviously been a success. And then you see Franklin Templeton follow in the past couple weeks. So SAB 121. And I mean, within, it felt like minutes, you hear from CEOs like Bank of America saying, we're all in. Bank of America was one of our early partners. Even just the ongoing conversations we've had with banks, being Reserve Bank or transaction banking partners for the stablecoin, like the tone and message changed overnight. It was quick.
The signaling is really powerful.
I think now like 9 different companies have filed for XRP ETFs, like half of which have happened just this month.
Wow.
So it feels like the floodgates are going to open this year.
I would agree with this, with Monica, because she mentioned a lot of major banks there. And I think that's the thing that people aren't necessarily really understanding is the amount of potential impact that this could have, even on RLUSD, especially in the banking ecosystem, where we start to see adoption. Bank of America and many others, I think then it's a domino effect going forward. Speaking of that, you have to look at this statement right here. Just in, the SEC is preparing to end the lawsuit against Ripple. This will be big news. Obviously, this will impact XRP again, but Ripple is going to be able to move forward with their plans. My expectation is a potential IPO. There's other things that could be brewing around partnerships that have not even been announced yet. So again, very, very bullish for XRP is. And if you know the charts, and we've done a couple of analysis on this before, XRP has been trading somewhat sideways on this, even though we've seen most of these altcoins continue to fall in general. Speaking of stablecoins, you got to go to look at the state level. We've done a lot of videos on this Wyoming stablecoin situation with their commission. Everybody's asked us, why are you doing, a video on this? It doesn't seem like it's a big thing. This is really a big thing. And the reason is this. If you have the state of Wyoming that is successful in launching a stablecoin, the likelihood is we're going to see movement going into other states. We had Anthony Apollo on. Go back and check out this video. It was a really good information set. And of course, they have put together a handful of tokens, Avalanche, Sui, and others that have been leading the potential opportunity. Avalanche, of course, has, I think, the inside track on this, even though what we'll probably see is maybe a diversification of how they're going to use blockchains across different layers of their stablecoins. So this will be a big deal, again, because I think it will push what's happening at the state level for maybe some other states. So here was their governor, Mark Gordon, talking about where this might go in terms of a ripple effect. Take a look.
Fox Business Alert, I'm just checking Bitcoin right now. Wyoming began forging ahead with the creation of its own stable token, which would be the first fiat-backed stablecoin issued by a U.S. public sector entity. Tell me about WIST, W-Y-S-T. How do you see farmers and ranchers and the oil industry getting in on this?
Our banks are, we have a member of our banking sector that is on our oversight committee. And so I think this will just make business work faster. We were the first state to come up with the LLC. We were the first state to come up with what we call our Speedy Bank. We're the first to come up with DAOs. We have really led in innovation. And, some of our competitors are all watching to see if Wyoming will falter in this. I can tell you, we feel very confident that the fact that we're doing this in the open, that we have a lot of national and international support watching us.
Governor, thank you very much. And I'm sure Florida is watching too, because certainly Miami has been big on crypto. And I just think it's interesting that you guys are forging ahead.
All right, so I would agree. I think a lot of other states are going to take a look at this. Florida could be one, Texas could be another. We could see even California take a look at this in the future, but there's a lot of opportunity here, I think, at the state level. This, of course, will continue to grow stablecoin growth as a whole. So as you can see, guys, this is going to be a big deal because I think once you combine what's happening in the DeFi market with stablecoins, this, of course, is going to see an influx of capital and the kind of explosion into the market. Because remember, tradability and liquid capability is very key, and stablecoins, of course, represent a lot of that. All right, so if you guys are in the Diamond Circle, we're going to be breaking down this and a lot more this week. A lot of news definitely breaking. Make sure and join down below. And if you are not in our Telegram group, get in that as well. That's where I do a lot of kind of back and forth with you guys. I love to kind of chat with you over there. Find me out there on X at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.